In case you are new here, there's only one thing you need to know about this place. And that is this. Winning is all that matters here. Not the game you are playing, not the reputation which precedes you. Just winning. Anything less will be ignored. The rules of today's competition will be the same as last events. 2 players will compete head-to-head in a best-of-7 Rocket League series. The player who reaches 4 wins first will be rewarded with $1,000 and earn an invitation to the next Rocket League event until they have lost. The player who fails to reach 4 wins in today's competition will go home with nothing. Our competitors today consist of last week's winner as well as a newcomer. Today's newcomer is a familiar face in the world of ones. Known for his high-powered offense, Eekso keeps his opponents uneasy, forcing them to be prepared for unexpected and creative attacks. On the other side, we have our returning champion, Fairy Peak. A player who is slowly beginning to cement his legacy as the greatest ones player of all time. It's time for the games to begin. Good luck to both competitors.
Game 1, Fairy Peak versus Eekso. Fairy Peak looking to defend his title. Early shot saved by Eekso. You'll have to look out for those kickoff goals by Fairy Peak. He can generate pretty insane power. That bump by Eekso. He's going to get a goal early on here. It's Fairy Peak trying to recover, but wasn't able to get back into position after Eekso knocks him off the sidewall next to the goal. Opening scoring now for Eekso. Last time these two played, it was Fairy Peak who emerged victorious 3-0 in a best-of-5. And the time before that, as far as I know, is the only other series that they have played against each other, was a 4-2 win for Fairy. So he definitely will go into this as the favourite. No doubt after beating Scrub last week as well. But look at this from Eekso. That is a vicious ground shot. Just gets on the outside of the ball before Fairy Peak can put the challenge in. Side flip shot will get it past the Frenchman. This is a great start for Eekso. And he might be about to get an even better start. No, Fairy Peak will save the kickoff goal attempt. Eekso has been causing every player in Europe trouble recently when he's played them. Nobody likes to play against this guy because he does have that X factor that can just take over a game, indeed a series. Players against him don't really feel like they have much they can do against it. Now Fairy Peak is the one player who managed to shut down Eekso last time they played. Funnily enough, he was playing the Merc in that series. Eekso so far looking very sharp, and he's playing ultra aggression, which is how he likes to play. That's 3-0 now. Eekso gets a mind game onto Fairy here. He's faked a challenge. Fairy Peak looks for the 50-50, but all he gets is the ball. And Eekso's faded away, turned around perfectly, and he's up by 3 goals. Just over 1 minute gone in the first game. Of course, this is a best of 7, so it's going to be a marathon, not a sprint, but Eekso has decided to sprint out of the gate. Fairy Peak low 50-50, saved by Eekso. This is really interesting though, because Fairy Peak has not got inside Eekso's head at all at the start of this one. If anything, it's Eekso who's inside Fairy's head with that bump goal. Fairy Peak is so dangerous of a player, you can't give him anything. So you never know what he's got planned. 1 goal and then multiple kickoff wins in a row could be disastrous for Eekso. At the moment though, he's neutralizing everything Fairy's trying to do. Fairy gets the ball past Eekso but not into the goal. Eekso's still in a pretty comfortable position. He's going to close the gap here before Fairy can turn. Still remains 3-0. That's a miss by Fairy in defense. Early shot by Eekso will be saved. It's too slow. Fairy Peak shooting off target on an open net. That should have been a goal. Careless move by Eekso to leave the ball in favor of corner boost there. He gets away with it. Fairy trying to turn around early, but Eekso's ready for him. This could be awkward though for Eekso. Fairy's got a lot of space and 100 boost, but the ball's in a pretty difficult position for him. He's going to make good of it anyway. This is the danger of giving Fairy Peak space on the ball. Probably the most controlled Batmobile player on the ground in the one scene. Not many players playing the Bat these days. Fairy Peak over the years has really elevated his ground play to another level. He does now have probably the best flicks in the business with the Batmobile, the most controlled certainly. 2 minutes 15 remaining. Eekso with a demo. Now he's got an open net, but not much time to find it. Looking for the mind game, and he gets it. Fairy Peak's not able to make contact with the ball. Eekso will get a goal after the clean demo. It doesn't look like he made any contact with this one, did he? Oh, he did in fact make contact. I wasn't sure if this was just rolling in off the wall, but Eekso getting a delayed touch there. Catches Fairy off guard. Looks like Fairy expected Eekso to have more boost. Tried to pre-jump in the way of the ball. Maybe having less boost works in Eekso's favor here. Although of course if he did have more, I'm sure he would have gone a bit quicker. Look at this dish attempt by Fairy. He's just at the crossbar, still in the vicinity, looking for scraps. Eekso is able to get the clear. A challenge by Eekso, pretty comfortable taking the ball away. Fairy Peak's running out of time here. If he wants to get back into this one, he'll have to score pretty soon. You can be sure that if Eekso gets his hands on the ball, he will knock about 20 or at least 15 seconds off the clock before he gives it back to Fairy. Boost grab by Eekso, and he still has the ball under his control. Fairy Peak's forced into an awkward challenge, and that is going to lead to another goal for Eekso. And he's up by 4 now. Game 1 going exactly as the Englishman wants. Remember, Fairy Peak's got $1,000 in the bag already, thanks to his win against Scrubkilla 2 weeks prior. Eekso won the opportunity to take on Fairy. Well, it's really a King of the Hill format. And now has a chance to win $1,000 of his own. If he can come out with a win here, he can't, then Fairy Peak's going to add 1,000 to his tally. Winner stays on. They're just going to earn $1,000 for every week that they do win. You can look forward to next week's Challenger game, the best of 1 qualifier for next week's LOR games. Or 2 weeks LOR games, sorry. Probably doing a pretty bad job explaining all this. Still 4 goals in it for Eekso. Make it 3 as Fairy Peak does put 1 more on the board. 2 flick goals in a way for Fairy Peak. One of them was a diagonal dodge back end of the car. This was just a good old front flip. Eekso will have to challenge earlier on Fairy Peak's near post flick attempts. He's not getting many saves with his shadowing. The ball's in Eekso's control, or is it? Fairy Peak almost snatches a goal. So let his guard down momentarily. He has to be careful in these final few seconds. Fairy Peak is going to up the aggression, but with only 10 left, I think this should be a win for Eekso in game 1, and that is going to be a confirmation. Eekso with a hot start. He looks like he's playing fast enough to take this one, and he's going to get 1 more goal just to celebrate with. And there is game 1 for Eekso.
A strong start for Eekso as he takes the early lead. On to the next match.
Game 2, Eekso with a strong start to this series. He's going to need to keep that up if he wants to take down perhaps the greatest ones player of all time. Certainly in show matches, best of 1s, best of 5, single best of 7 series, and that's a great goal by Fairy. Another flick goal. Eekso hasn't had a good answer to Fairy Peak's flicks so far. That's a worrying sign, perhaps. Although he's got a 1-game lead, Fairy Peak's found a weakness. There's another flick. This one should be savable. Never mind, Eekso can't get up high enough for it. It was a perfectly executed flick by Fairy right after the kickoff. He didn't have much boost, but he didn't need it. It's plenty power. 2-0 Fairy. Seems like Eekso may have just angered him with that game 1 result. See if Eekso can respond. He will look for the ceiling shot. He's got to try and catch up with this one because he's hit the ball a bit too hard. Fairy Peak gets in the way. Now slow play from Fairy. He's trying to control the pace that Eekso has set from game one. Not the best shot though by Fairy, but Eekso will be able to only get a touch on it and no more. It looked like Fairy might have messed this one up by hitting it towards the side of the goal that Eekso was nearest to, but he did do enough to get it in. Almost overhitting it there. There's been a couple of shots for Fairy. The open net missing game one as well comes to mind. That haven't been 100% what we're used to seeing from him. So far it hasn't mattered for game three. Eekso can't get the ball past Fairy's early challenge now. There's a shot from Fairy that's not quite fast enough. Bump attempt on the back wall by Eekso. That's how he scored his opening goal in the first game. It's not going to work this time. Eekso does love his bumps, especially when he can pop the ball up into the air. He doesn't have an option to do it here though, because Fairy Peak's challenged so quickly. Fairy thought about the long shot for a while. He will actually take it from the ground rather than the wall. Eekso gets the clear on the ball pretty easily. Not much control though there by Eekso. He's just giving away the possession to Fairy, and Fairy's going to accept that donation gladly and put it into the goal at the other end. 4-0. This game is looking just as one-sided, if not more so than the first game did. Eekso has to try and plug his holes in defense, I think, before he can worry about coming back here. Fairy Peak's looking for more. That's 5-0. Fairy Peak after the kickoff just drills one home. Straight back into the play. Eekso in a bit of an awkward spot here. This is the time of the match where Fairy might just look to ruin Eekso's confidence moving forward, see if he can put even more goals past him. But that's actually going to be a goal for Eekso. Fairy Peak's assisted this one, accidentally hitting it into the area of the field that Eekso could catch up with. Fairy Peak, early shot after the kickoff. Look at the power by Fairy Peak. Just loops around and drills it into the middle of the net. Eekso thought he had time to get boost, but he did not. Fairy Peak putting another one in just after Eekso got his first goal. So ball chase after the kickoff. He only has 12 boost though, so he's not able to do much. Tries to bump Fairy, but doesn't make contact. Low profile of the Batmobile, staying out of danger. Looks like Fairy's woken up with his shooting as well. He's starting to really hit the ball with a lot more pace and intention than he did earlier in this series. That combined with his flicks, which are definitely on form, make this very difficult for Eekso. Fairy Peak controls the ball at the back wall, but only as far as Eekso. He's waiting in the center. His touch wasn't exactly what Fairy was looking for. He wanted to keep it closer to the wall so that he couldn't be shot on in the seconds that followed. Eekso was ready and waiting for a potential bad clear. In and out save attempt by Eekso. Just gets a touch on it, but Fairy Peak's got a better one, and it's going to be 7-2. You know, it wasn't the worst idea for Eekso to go for this, but Fairy Peak delaying his approach actually makes it better for him, as he is able to neutralize Eekso's attempted clear. There's still plenty of time left in this game. If Eekso can chain together a couple of kickoff goal possessions, then he will have a good chance to come back here. Fairy Peak absorbing another 50-50 and another one. Fairy Peak just dominating the physical side of the game. That's a response though from Eekso in kind. He looks to attack early before Fairy Peak can reposition himself. Not the best pop by Eekso. Got a bit lost, I think, in this exchange. Fairy Peak is just letting the clock do the work now. He's launching the ball long, forcing Eekso to run out of position. Pull shot center ball by Fairy Peak, and he's got the top corner finish. 8-2. That's a very creative way to center the ball. Not often do you get an assist in 1v1. Fairy Peak with a forced assist there onto Eekso. No doubt looking to tie up this series in style. 1 minute 20 remaining. Eekso has to score with every single attacking play, but it doesn't look likely. Fairy Peak is giving him space, not giving him any time on the ball. So needs just a little bit of space and time to even start an attack. Volley by Fairy. Saved. Eekso. Fast counter, but he's not got any boost, and Fairy Peak's bumped him out of the way. So that will be just another 10 or 15 seconds off the clock. Eekso's got it back under control, but he can't get it into the net before Fairy's recovered. And it looks like this will finish in a more dominant win for Fairy than Eekso's in the first game. Eekso still on the hunt. Mind game fails because he can't quite get the ball into the far corner. Initially it looked like he might have got inside Fairy's head there. Fairy Peak wasn't able to get the first touch on the ball that he was looking for. Oh dear, that's an open net miss for Eekso. The frustration is just accumulating, and now Fairy Peak on the hunt for his 9th goal. This is what Fairy Peak does to you. He just bullies you into submission and gives you almost no chances to come back into games that he gets his nose in front in. It was actually a fantastic save by Eekso just seconds ago, but it's not going to matter for much because Eekso has lost this one by a fair margin. Game 2 goes to Fairy.
Fairy Peak has answered Eekso's first win with an even stronger win of his own.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mega Shogun, and in association with GifYourGame, it is now time to bring you your top 9 goals of the week. That's right, you didn't hear me wrong. We've got 9 plays this week for reasons that will become clear very soon. But we're kicking off this week's list with this unreal angled shot from Ease. At 8 with a goal that shouldn't even be considered in the first 10 seconds of a match, let alone pulled off, is Halsda. At 7 is Dante, who absolutely nails this first touch. All that's left is to follow the ball and pop it home. Wasteland is the featured map, and it's fittingly called so because Lotus just wasted the defense. Now we all know that team plays are my jam, so I thank Miso from the bottom of my heart for delivering this beauty. Things that are guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and poise time wrecking your goal. Now the next goal looks less like Rocket League and more like a cross between gymnastics and pole vault. Actually, that sounds awesome. Yo, send that to the Olympics! Our penultimate goal keeps up this week's tradition of near impossible angles. Bang! And this week's winner comes to us from Musty Cow, who's bringing us this whopper of a play. His defense tested and teased by the opponent, yet he never even blinks for a moment. He continues to battle a defensive war until eventually his opponent's rage just boils over. And, well, if he thought he was mad to start with, then he's only going to get even a little bit more angry as Musty Cow does this. That is how you cause a rage quit. Well done to a Musty Cow on winning this week's $100 prize. And if you would like to be featured on next week's list, all you have to do is post your gift to the Goal of the Week channel on the GifYourGame Discord. I am Mega Shogun, and I'll see you next week.
Game 3, Fairy Peak with a solid response to Eekso's initial win. Now we have a best of 5 to decide who will win $1,000 and return in 2 weeks' time to defend their LOR Games title. Eekso will open the scoring here after a small delay. And I love this early flick from him because Fairy has been challenging quite early on all of Eekso's ball carries. The blind early flick is going to work enough times for it to be worthwhile, and even when it doesn't go over Fairy's head, it still puts him on the back foot, so it's a really nice move there by Eekso. You can do that again and again, and there won't really be too many repercussions, at least not immediately. That's going to be another goal for Eekso. Fairy Peak with the understeer on the wall, and he doesn't make contact. It looks like this series might just yo-yo back and forth between these two. That's a rare miss by Fairy. He had the boost advantage, but forgets to power slide long enough. Doesn't make contact with the ball on the fast turnaround. Of course, he was under pressure by Eekso. Knew that the Englishman was coming forward as fast as he could. Oh my goodness, that's a forced own goal. Eekso gets stripped up by Fairy and accidentally runs the ball into his own net. Fascinating touch though by Fairy Peak. I don't know if he realized Eekso was coming for him. He was able to slap Eekso into the ball. Low shot by Fairy. He's going to make it past Eekso, who was defending the wall better than his goal here. It's, in my opinion, a pretty suboptimal position to be in there for Eekso, as Fairy Peak's not really going to get a high shot very often from these angles. You can maybe put it down to those flicks that have been going over Eekso's head earlier in the match. This one will go over his head, and you just have to wonder, is Eekso's shadow at the near post defensive style going to answer Fairy Peak's offense? I just don't know if it will. That's a quick response by Fairy. Frightening how fast he can come back together. 2 goals. Nice little touch there by Eekso. He's going to equalize now. Pop over Fairy, who had more boost than he did. But mid-dodge, wasn't able to make contact with the ball. Nice shot there by Eekso to get back in the game. Lots of goals in this series. The offense for both players has been impressive enough that despite pretty solid defense all around, it has still been mostly goals scored rather than goals prevented. Awkward touch there by Fairy, but Eekso responds with a good clear. Fairy looking to slow play. He doesn't want to hit the ball straight towards his opponent. He'd rather take it down and then dribble. See if he can force a misplay. Half flip challenge by Fairy. Not giving Eekso any space to work with. And the boost is also gone now from Eekso's half. This could be an opportunity for Fairy to outpace him. Shot into the crossbar, setting up a rebound opportunity. Fairy doesn't go for it. Respect for Eekso's defensive capabilities. Fairy Peak's doing a good job refusing to give Eekso space. And I think out of the 2 players, he's had the better answer to ball carrying so far. Eekso tends to back off a lot more. That's much better. Eekso this time closes the gap. He can't quite find the open net. It was a tight angle. The ball was moving quickly. It's really slowed down now. It's becoming more of a game of chess, really. Fairy Peak gets a goal in slow motion as Eekso just flies by and doesn't make contact with the ball. He was trying to land on the near post and then flip off into the ball, but he just fell into his own net. Fairy Peak retakes the lead. More slow plays by Fairy. He's just absorbing every challenge that Eekso tries to put in these positions. Eekso's going to come out with the boost. That's a really big win in a position that looked fairly even. Still doesn't have enough space to make his plays happen. He makes his own space though. Fairy Peak's not going to back off. Eekso's going to back him up and get to do what he wants to do. Finally, a dribble goal by Eekso. 4-all. Series on a knife edge. I think Eekso really needs this win to give himself a good chance moving forward here, and that will be a goal for Eekso. Fairy Peak gives him space in the near post, and you know, every single time that these players have given each other space at the near post on the ball, it has not worked well. I'd love to see some more early challenges in that position. I mean, if at least force the defender, or force the attacker rather, to hit the target on a defended net. Eekso with a close range save. Fairy Peak loops around. He's just rebounding it now into the leftover open net as Eekso can't recover in time. This was a good initial save, and Eekso gave himself a chance in the follow-up, but he just got outplayed there. Fairy going on to the next level, predicting the pre-jump and going instead into the crossbar for the rebound. Reaction there by Fairy. He's covered, I think, most of his goal despite missing the boost there. Some really good defense in a kickoff that didn't go in his favor. Flicks for Fairy have deteriorated as the series has developed, although his shooting has gotten better. Eekso Wide open net. Fairy Peak's nowhere near to the play. The Englishman gets another lead. Did his best Fairy Peak impression there, just waiting for the challenge to come in and then backing up, letting the ball bounce off him into a favourable position. Just over a minute now for Fairy. Eekso, ball chases the kickoff, and he's going to be rewarded with another goal. Well played by Eekso. He gambles, but he makes it work. Again, Fairy Peak challenging early on a ball carry, and not for the first time this game. Eekso reads it, scores with a flick. 2 goals in it. Kick-off goal attempted by Fairy Peak, but easily saved by Eekso. Now this is absolutely his game to lose. He's got enough control of this position to run down the clock. He needs his 40 seconds. Look at the touch by Fairy though. He's going to get 1 goal without wasting any time whatsoever. He's glancing the ball just past Eekso's challenge to the right-hand side of the play. 1 goal now. Can Eekso hold on? Will he get another goal to make the final 30 seconds easier? Yes, he will. Thumping Fairy Peak over the line with the ball. Great bump by Eekso. Fairy Peak would have had a save on that had it not been for the aggression off the ball. 25 seconds. Fairy Peak early shot. Still has a solid boost advantage, but the clock is not helping him. Fairy Peak's now getting bumped out the way by Eekso. What a play! Eekso manages to pit maneuver his opponent. He should be able to hold on here. Oh, never mind. Fairy Peak finds an opening. That's really smart by Fairy. Doesn't contest the corner boost. Instead, just lets Eekso have it. And Eekso's fallen on top of the ball. If he had just hit that solid into the corner, he would have been fine, but he's belly flopped it, and now Eekso might be in trouble. Fairy Peak's got enough boost to set up a play, but he's just lost it on the low 50-50. Eekso holds on.
A much closer match this time, as Eekso pulls another win from the defending champion.
Game 4. Eekso really bringing his A game today. He's done better, or at least as well, if not better, than the best result that he's had against Fairy Peak before this series commenced. That being a 2-4 loss. Fairy Peak could replicate that with 3 consecutive wins. Good save though by Eekso to the top corner flick. Fairy Peak's been getting a lot of goals with his flicks this series. Eekso's managed to read this one very well. More good play with low boost by Eekso. Right now Fairy Peak is trying to force a volatile 50-50, get the ball out and away into space, but Eekso stays with it, and he's going to get an easy goal as Fairy Peak's just stranded in the corner. 1-0 for Eekso, and Fairy Peak might be a bit rattled with the last game. You know, he's so difficult to get any damage on mentally, is Fairy. Demo attempt by Eekso. Fairy Peak gets away and takes the boost. Eekso's just gluing himself to the ball. Every time he can stay near the ball with a low boost situation, he does so. Fairy Peak passes it to himself. Look at this by Fairy. He's just calculated his options so well. Sets up the hook shot, fakes a shot on target, passes it to himself off the near post, and Eekso's just got to put his hands up and say, well played for that one. He's expecting a booming shot towards the top corner. Well, there's a booming shot straight down the middle. Eekso didn't take long to answer now. Will lead 2-1 thanks to the kickoff goal. If Eekso can win one more game here, that puts Fairy Peak in the most awkward position he's been in a best of 7 series for quite some time. He always stays within 1 game, or he always seems to stay within 1 game. He's going to keep this one dead even. Another pass to himself, this time using the backboard. Eekso crept forward, Fairy Peak spotted him moving off the line and makes good on the flick. 3 minutes 33 left. Eekso wins another kickoff. This one's not going to be a direct goal, but fake jump is going to back up Fairy for the time being. Is that on target? Eekso with the pop gets a goal to make it another 1-goal lead for him. 2 fake jumps And he just gets it over Fairy's challenge. In the nick of time. Fairy Peak is going to be pretty frustrated by that one. Eekso made him look pretty silly there. Not often you see fake jumps backing up players for so long. That's another goal for Eekso. Demo this time. And he slowly rolls it in. Fairy Peak is being read here. Perhaps better than I've seen anyone read him in the past year. Oh, that's a pretty good flick though by Fairy. He didn't hold back on that one. My goodness, it's like a catapult as he just leans back and fires it over Eekso's shoulder. We can't have been expecting that much power after a kickoff. Eekso will concede another kickoff goal. Fairy Peak with the placement. Shoots it behind Eekso this time. And just like that, a 2-goal lead evaporates. So it's going to have to start all over again. And Fairy Peak's not done. He's looking for more pressure plays on the kickoff. This one will be saved by Eekso. Early turnaround by Eekso. Counter-attack attempted. Fairy Peak's tripped him up though. Eekso's going to have to be careful. He has given Fairy Peak a lot of space by continuing to chase for that long. And Fairy Peak's going to make good of that space. 1-goal lead for Fairy. He worked his way down the line before Eekso could recover and put pressure on the ball, and that forced the challenge from Eekso. You know, I do like that Eekso's challenging earlier here. He's not been having much success with his shadowing at the near post. Fairy Peak's just too good. I think the mistake really for Eekso there was choosing to chase Fairy Peak with such a boost disadvantage for so long. Fairy Peak's starting to look really in control. 2 minutes left, and Eekso has no real way to safely close the distance here. Every single time that Eekso walks into a 50-50, it looks so dangerous. With double touch for Eekso, gets it in. The aerial speed of Fairy is matched and exceeded by Eekso. He did well to not just get the ball past Fairy, but also get his car past Fairy in that little exchange. Nice block by Eekso. He wants to boost in the midfield. He's keeping an eye on where Fairy's pathing. That will allow him to turn around early. See there that even if Fairy can get a save or a block on these early flicks by Eekso, it's still perfectly okay, or at least it should be. Eekso own goals. He was by no means in an awkward spot here. This is a unforced error that we really don't expect from a player of Eekso's caliber. So rare to see him missing a catch and flick play in defense. Fairy Peak back in front. And Eekso stabilized. That's a bit of a tilter there. He knows he shouldn't be conceding that goal. He should instead be taking control of the ball and looking to attack. He's got another offensive play to defend, and he's not going to catch up to it. Fairy Peak easily blocks Eekso's air dribble and will score in the following seconds. Pretty all-in move there by Eekso. I think he needs to get more momentum if he's going to try and force the ball through Fairy. Fairy Peak accidentally jumping over the ball. That's a shot attempt for Eekso. He's got another touch on it, and he will make good of it. 1 goal in it, and there's been a lot of unforced errors in this fourth game. Nerves from both players. Fairy Peak wanted the pop, but he overestimated his boost amount. Just could not get underneath the ball. Minute left on that kickoff. Fairy Peak looking to take control, but Eekso will continue to pressure the ball. He knows he can get close to it without taking any risks, so he does so. Fairy Peak gets it past. He has an open net, and he will put it in, courtesy of Eekso. 2 goals now. Eekso, in trying to get back and make the save, ends up putting it into his own net. 42 seconds. Fairy Peak looking to tie up the series. Eekso trying to make a comeback happen. Still dreaming of a 3-1 lead, but it's just not looking likely. Fairy Peak puts another one in. Eekso tries to make something happen with not much boost after a kickoff. Nice angle there by Fairy. He just snuck in, gets the ball past his opponent. Mind games by Eekso. Did manage to take control of the ball and now gets it past Fairy Peak. That's a well executed play by Eekso. Fairy Peak just wanted a 50-50 so he could waste some more time. Delicate touch though by Eekso, just knocking it past Fairy Peak. We're going to have an interesting final 20 seconds here. Strong possession play for Eekso would be necessary. He's not going to get it. Fairy Peak with a good chance to just run down the clock here. 2 goals needed for Eekso. This might be one though. No, Fairy Peak with a great save, and that will win him the game and tie up the series, no doubt. Unless Fairy Peak really bends time, or Eekso rather, but it's just not going to happen. Eekso gets a consolation goal, but Fairy Peak ties up the series.
Our defending champion has once again tied up the series. On to Game 5.
Let's just say you've settled down for a nice game of carball, and everything's going as it normally does. You win some, you lose some. Up a rank, down the rank. Spreading the toxin that is your inability to control primal outbursts. When, out of nowhere, you score the goal of a lifetime. It's so incredible, in fact, that you know no living being would believe your sweaty hands were capable of such perfection. Frantically, you search for the best way to share this with the world. Recording a video won't do. It takes too much time. The world needs to know right now, and in a way that can be shared by all. Think, think, think. What about a GIF? GIF your game. What could this be? Push a button, get a GIF? No, that's impossible. Rendered on our own GTX 1080 machines and saving your computer the hassle. Who do these people think they are? The highest quality GIFs delivered in minutes? Scam artists. I can smell the smelly rubbish from here. Oh well, no time to waste. Let's give it a go. Downloading, installing. This must be what it feels like to get a virus. Alright, let's find the goal. There it is. Push the button. Interesting. I've received a GIF. Is this my goal? It can't be. It is! My beautiful goal! GIF your game. Push a button, get a GIF. We handle the rest.
Game 5 of a potential 7. Although 2 more wins would do it for either player. Oh my goodness, that's just in for Fairy. A little bit of fortune in a favourable position. Fairy pouncing on the ball before Eekso could react, and he will be rewarded with an early goal. It's just another one of those series for Fairy. He always manages to keep it within 1. Give himself a good chance to take a nail-biter Game 7. Open net miss by Eekso off the wall. It's a bump onto Fairy. He's had a couple of successful plays bumping Fairy on that back wall next to the goal. This will not be one of them. Will Eekso let Fairy rebound this? The ball is going to bounce up high, so there's going to be none of that. This is the most important game for Eekso, and he will equalize by the looks of things. Pressure play for Eekso causes the crumble from Fairy Peak. Fairy Peak was not expecting Eekso to be that close when he turned around, and he panics a little bit, jumps in front of the ball rather than through it. You know, credit to Eekso for staying with Fairy in this best of 7. Not many have done this in the past. The dominance of Fairy is not just known from winning series, but by winning them comfortably, often sweeping or winning series by 2 games clear, which he still could do. For the time being, Eekso's been his equal. That will be an open net though for Fairy. Has he got the time? No, he will. Hit it into the crossbar. In and out save by Eekso. Look at the distance he's got on that one. Gonna look for a boost steal, and he gets it. Cracking stuff there by Eekso. He was really under a lot of pressure as Fairy Peak was firing shot after shot, but he's jumped off the underside of his own crossbar and made contact with the ball in a real good way. But Fairy Peak's gonna get his second goal eventually. It looks like Eekso is trying to take control of this ball. He let go of his boost just for a little bit, maybe not expecting Fairy Peak to get to the ball that early. It's usually what Fairy Peak does. He takes the most efficient, quick route that he can in his aerial plays for 1v1. 3 minutes and 17 seconds for Eekso to try and retake control of this ball and indeed the game. He's done well to kill this attack dead for the time being. That will give him time to grab boost. Fairy Peak continuing to test Eekso from distance. Demo play by Fairy. Smartly done. He didn't want to hit the ball into his opponent there. Not much point in doing that. Why not just swoop in, eliminate him from the equation altogether. Boost steal for Fairy. Eekso just trying to let the ball bounce a bit lower. He knows that if he drives forward into it when it's on a high bounce like that, the ball will just bounce out towards Fairy Peak. Nice demo there by Eekso. Now he's got a really open net. He has to be scored in this, and he will. Good placement by Eekso. Even better awareness to realize that the demolish was available. Half the game gone. Still, the series on a knife edge. This is definitely the best that we've seen from Eekso against Fairy Peak in recent times. Certainly, in a series format, this is the best I've ever seen Eekso do against probably the greatest 1v1 series player of all time. Touch by Eekso. He needs to be careful though, because Fairy Peak's still looking for more. It was sort of options there for Fairy. He could have gone for a demo, but he decided to try and sneak in the ball to the goal. He's actually going to get a goal here. Where did Eekso go in this play to be found so out of position? Eekso now trails by 1, and this is disappearing quickly. Not too many goals in this 5th one. Still trying to take control, but Fairy Peak's just getting so much thanks to his ground shot, wall shot power that he's able to execute over and over again. Shot by Eekso, saved by Fairy. He's hit the inside of his own post though, so there will be another one coming momentarily. He'll save that one as well. Eekso turning early on every single save that Fairy's trying to do. He wanted to keep the pressure up, but Fairy Peak gets out of his own half and it's gone on target. Eekso thought that this one is coming off the near post, but it's perfect placement by Fairy. And a bit careless there by Eekso. He lost his bearings ever so slightly, but can't afford to do that against a player like Fairy. 2 goal difference now. Although Eekso's fought bravely and had Fairy's number at times, here it comes starting to look very similar to what we're used to seeing when Fairy Peak's in a 1 series. Eekso gets a good piece of Fairy there. Doesn't get the demo, but he gets the bump and the outplay. Cut and flick by Eekso to get back within 1. Great change up there. Fairy Peak trying to half flip out of this failed challenge was also the right play, but he didn't have enough time to get back. It was too quick by Eekso that time. Eekso thought about wave dashing, decides against it. Realized he might have in fact been landing on top of Fairy Peak's car, which would have been disastrous if he tries to wave dash in that position. 30 seconds left. Fairy Peak still firmly in control, and Eekso's out of the game. That's a bit risky by Eekso to throw himself in there. Fairy Peak's so close to the ball. More shots by Fairy, saved by Eekso, and a good one at that. A necessary one as well. He's kept his hopes of a Game 5 win alive. Fairy Peak is just not letting up. He's controlling every second of this last minute. Eekso will get one more chance. Fast flick on the turnaround, but it will go grounded. Fairy Peak wins Game 5.
Fairy Peak has taken the lead for the first time this series, and now stands 1 game away from a 2nd title.
Just 1 more win needed for Fairy Peak. Eekso still looking for 2. This series is at a turn for the worse for Eekso. Plenty of power on that flick, but still not able to hit the target. It's just been a slow and steady improvement for Fairy Peak the past 2 games, which has allowed him to take the lead away from Eekso. That's great speed by Fairy. He's going to have an open net rebound, and he will put it in. The setup here is really what made that goal possible. Too fast in the recovery for Eekso to read. Now Fairy is off to a good start and about to win the series in 6 games if he can keep this up. But Eekso's not going to let him have it that easily. Nice flick by him. Although Fairy Peak was close, wasn't able to make contact. It was well timed by Eekso. He knew that Fairy was likely to turn and challenge or reverse and challenge. And again, like we discussed earlier, even if Fairy Peak doesn't challenge, it's not like the save's going to be easy anyway, so it's a good idea for Eekso to pull the trigger there before he's too close and runs the risk of getting dunked on. Can Eekso build this into a lead for himself? Bring us into a game 7. I'm sure everybody would love to see that. Fairy Peak's going to easily take a goal, though. I think Eekso might have just flipped the wrong way here. Indeed, a bit of a miss there by Eekso. He's trying to half flip through the ball, but he needed to be going forwards to have any chance of getting a touch on that. I think an interception rather than a block would have made more sense, but it's difficult when you're defending against Fairy Peak's near post offense. Good recovery there by Fairy, but Eekso still got the ball. You see there the difference, though, that Fairy Peak, he was a moment later to that, and he wouldn't have been able to make it back in time to save that open net, but as is he does. Look at that power by Fairy. He's just caught the ball mid-air and flicked it in the same motion. This is a beautiful play. So much power, so much accuracy, and even if Eekso can somehow get a save on that shot, Fairy Peak's still lurking around and able to follow up with boost steals, more shots, more flicks, more pressure. Eekso's done well to keep that one out, but there was really no hope. I think the ball was in fact crossing the line despite Eekso's touch. So now a really difficult task for Eekso. Fairy Peak is certainly playing some of the best Rocket League we've seen from him in recent times, and we've seen some pretty good Rocket League from him in recent times. Although Eekso started off this series so well, it's just been gradually going outside of his control. Fairy Peak trying another low 50-50. Works well, but not able to score the follow-up. It's a little bit of a miss there by Fairy. Should be putting those kind of shots on target. Fairy Peak not committing here. He knew that Eekso might get a second touch after failing his flick, so he stays back and lets it happen. You know, sometimes we see players fail their flick, land in front of the ball, and get a second touch onto it to take the opponent out of the game, but this time Fairy is ready for even that. He looks ready for absolutely everything in this last game. Nice half flip onto the boost there by Eekso, but he's still not able to make contact with the ball. He was left in a really awkward position. Still though very nicely done to recover onto the boost by the Englishman. It's a shame he wasn't able to continue that play with success for his sake. Fairy Peaks just walked in, taking the boost, and he takes a goal, and Eekso has nothing to say or do about it. He may be favouring low boost ball pressure just a little bit too much. It's always been Eekso's way to advance up the field. You'd rather stay on the ball with low boost or sometimes even no boost than give it up and take the 100 from the corner. But at times it's putting him in awkward positions and giving him trouble. Flip reset for Eekso, and he puts it in. What a finish by Eekso. That's got to be the best goal we've seen all series. He had to really stretch to get underneath that one, but as soon as he got the flip reset, he pulls the trigger, and Fairy Peak couldn't react in time. You can't really blame him for letting that one in, but this could be the start of something for Eekso. He's got another goal on the kickoff, and now it's looking like the comeback might really be possible. Fairy Peak had a 6-goal lead. Eekso's starting to break away at it. He's starting to chip one goal at a time. This time Fairy Peak early challenge will shut down what Eekso's trying to do. Eekso's trying to run back, but he's let the ball past him. Fairy Peak's long shots continue to impress. Eekso Wasn't even a whiff here. He just couldn't catch up to it. The shot was too good. 5 goals in it now. This could have been a 3-goal lead or a 3-goal difference if Eekso had made good on his last offensive play, but he'll make up for it here. At least half make up for it. He's still got one more to score before he could feel okay about that failed air dribble. He doesn't have too long to do it in. This has to be 1 goal every attack, I think, for Eekso. At the current rate of possession, saved by the Englishman. He absolutely cannot allow a 9th goal for Fairy. That would be, I think, a wrap with how strong Fairy's kickoffs have been, and I think it's going to be a 9th goal. Indeed it is. Eekso gets taken out of the play on the back wall, and now with just over a minute left, he has to score more goals than he scored in the 4 goals, or the 4 minutes rather, that have already happened in this game. This would be one of the most ridiculous comebacks in Rocket League history, and Fairy Peak's not going to make it easy. He doesn't want to be in the receiving end of any more Eekso goals. Early challenge, more success for Fairy Peak. You understand, Eekso knows he has to score with every attack from here, so he's trying to wait until he has a shot before making a flick play there, just hoping that Fairy Peak's going to give him the chance to do so, but Fairy Peak is just too good. He is shutting down everything that Eekso's trying to do, making sure that there is no hope for the comeback. Many players in this position would start to freestyle, have some fun, and sometimes let their opponent creep back into the game, but Fairy is not one of those players. He will continue to try his absolute hardest right up until the last seconds of the game are over, but that will be 2 LOR Games wins in a row for Fairy Peak. It took 7 games to beat Scrub Killer last week. He's done Eekso in 6.
Our defending champion has outlasted Eekso with a strong final performance. With this win, Fairy Peak's earnings will be increased to $2,000. He will receive an invitation to the next Rocket League event. We hope you enjoyed the presentation. Take care and goodbye.